Hello there. In a recent video, I talked about how you won't be afraid of losing the ego or getting rid of the ego once you realize that it is made up. I realize that's kind of for the Western mentality, that's a difficult pill to swallow because we love the ego so much. We're taught to love the ego. We're taught to appreciate and worship it and pamper it and baby it. It's a tough pill to swallow. So it occurred to me then, because shortly after that, or maybe before that, I had a couple of videos come out where I was talking about Hanuman in the Vedic system and his role in things. And there is a great story from the Ramayana involving Rama and Hanuman, which has exactly to do with this aspect of ego, which I will share with you now. So after a bunch of battles and stuff like that, Rama asks Hanuman, who are you? Or what are you in relation to me? And Hanuman replies, when I forget myself, I follow you. And when I remember myself, I'm you. So one way of interpreting this statement, when I forget myself, forget who I am controlled by the ego, right? So there's no captain steering the ship. So who's steering the ship? Well, the ego, the made up I, the false I or eyes that we have created over a lifetime of reaction and indoctrination. That's like what is steering the ship. So when I am not aware of that, when I forget about that, I simply, the best I can do is just follow the idea of a conscious self or higher self, to just follow the image of that. And this is one thing that we do have in the world, and maybe you can, this is attributable to the function of church Christianity, ashram Hinduism, all of the popular and mass consumption versions of religion that are out there, is they all have an idea of some higher being, which immediately has principles like attached to it that we can follow. Even while we're asleep, we can like reach out occasionally and follow these things, because that at least keeps us in the neighborhood of an awakening kind of experience. Whereas if we're not following anything and we just give in to the randomness of life and the mechanicalness of life, and total relativism, if we just allow ourselves to wash in that, then if we do have an awakening experience, if we do for a moment remember ourselves, we just have no idea what to do with that. We say, wow, that's crazy. And then we just go back to sleep, put the ego back in control of everything. It's like you wake up for a moment and you're in, some higher aspect of yourself is in control of the ship. But guess what? You have no idea what's going on. You don't even know that this is, you don't even recognize that this is a vacant ship that you find yourself in. So what are you going to do about it? You got nothing to go on, and plus all of your postmodernist friends will think you're talking crazy and not let you play their reindeer games anymore. So this is why it is useful and beneficial and advised to study these esoteric ideas, so the ideas will be at least be around and you have a sense of it. So when Hanuman says, when I remember myself, I am you, or when I remember who I am, I'm you. So in the story, Rama, of course, is Vishnu. Vishnu is, of course, a manifestation of God. Hanuman, somewhere deep inside of him, is Shiva, although for the most part he has forgotten it. There's part of the story of Hanuman is he's cursed by Rudra for trying to eat the sun when he was a baby because he thought it was a mango. And so Rudra curses him that he does not remember who he is in his incarnation as Hanuman. But, I mean, underneath all of that, he's actually God also. And then Vishnu and Shiva, they're separate entities in most of these stories. They're both, ultimately, they're God also. So what this means for us walking around in here is that when we do remember ourselves, we become, for that moment, we become our higher self. That remembering of the self is an experience of two things. There's you could look at it as an ascension into higher self, but at the same time it's also a descent of attention coming down into us that occurs at the same time, which is why Hanuman says, when I remember myself, I'm you. You're God, as he's talking to Rama, and he's like, I realize I'm you, I'm God. And that is what is behind the experience of self-remembering. Often people take this concept of self-remembering when they first hear it and misunderstand it as a intellectual process, and what they're really doing is they're remembering their ego, or one of their egos, or one of their past personalities, or they're remembering an idea that they heard about self-remembering. So but that's okay. That one of the things I think that Hanuman is stating here is that it's okay to not really remember yourself all of the time, and even intermittently. It's okay. You don't really have to worry about that, because you have something to follow until that time. And what do you follow until that time? You follow the image or the idea of a higher self, which starts to allow you to become somewhat, little bit more free of the thing we call ego, and maybe see for a moment that it's all just made up.